welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am happily excited because it is time for the top 15 list. Been doing this for all 4 seasons in the past, and we are here now for the 5th edition of the top 15 ranked. In my opinion, all of you can have a different opinion on this situation, but we are going to jump right into the list from 15 all the way to number 1 on who was the top man of season 5. So in my opinion, coming in at number 15 was James Arlington. Why is he so low? Well, to be honest, he wasn't on the list at first, but I quickly bumped him into the list because of how he ended this season. Because he started off, shaky. He wasn't starting off very well, was having losses, some wins here and there sprinkled around. He beat HBK, he beat Triple H, he was hardcore champion for about 7 episodes and then lost the belt. And then went on a cold spell for quite some time, and then won the Universal title for 1 episode before losing it, and then fighting in a 5-star bout against Samuel Armstrong at WrestleMania. So, for most, it would be a lackluster season, but because of his star and power and the storyline that he's had with now being kicked out of Bullet Club, it seems that he is poised and ready to take back the top mountain in the next season. We'll have to see, but for now, I'd put him at number 15. Coming in at number 14 is the Architect, Seth Rollins. Yes, indeed, Seth Rollins had a decent season, and you can call it a resurgence, because last time he was world champion was season 2, and he took back on SmackDown a championship, the United States title, in fact, for about 13 episodes, held it, defended it very well, put on some fantastic bouts before losing it at Clash of Champions. After that, he was in some pretty solid matches, but never reclaimed a title after that. Although, I did put him up here because he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at the end of this season at Mania, and thus has an opportunity at the World Championship at Extreme Rules, a World Championship. So that's why he's at number 14. So coming in at number 13 is Drew McIntyre. Yes, sir. The Scottish Psychopath started off white hot as the WWE Champion and held the title for 13 episodes, and which ended his reign at Money in the Bank in a 5-star bout with Kevin Draco. He then went over to Raw and had a little rough patches trying to get some momentum. Did win the Hardcore Championship for a short time before losing it, and then had a bumpy ride after that, but I put him on this list because he was a long-reigning world champion and had delivered this season in a spectacular fashion early on, but then slowly faded out and fizzled out. So here's to him. Hopefully he's going to reclaim the throne. Now coming in at number 12 is Scott Cole. Yes, sir. This man started off as NXT champion this season, and then stormed into Money in the Bank white hot after losing his NXT title. He quickly won the briefcase to become Raw's Mr. Money in the Bank. Kind of disappeared off the radar for quite some time. Had a match here, had a match there. You're wondering, where's Mr. Money in the Bank? And then, bam, he popped right back up and took the fight on the road to WrestleMania, having dream matches. And then had a fantastic setup with him versus DJ at WrestleMania in a very good hardcore or Extreme Rules match, and then cashed in his briefcase at the main event of WrestleMania Season 5 to become the world champion. So I put him a little bit lower, mainly because he was kind of non-existent for the second half of the season, really wasn't there, didn't really show up too often or compete. But his ending certainly made up for it in what he did. But all in all, he had a very decorative season. So then coming in at number 11, Yujiro Yamashita. Yujiro Yamashita, I gotta say, Started off United States champion, held it for 9 episodes, then lost it. He was hardcore champion at one point this season, held it for about 2 or 3 episodes. Didn't have too big of a title reign with it, and when you think that, well, how did I put him higher? It's because of the match quality. He had matches with Kevin Draco, he had open challenges when he was U.S. champion, and he just overall was involved with several 5-star matches and crucial matches that built SmackDown up to the brand it is this season in its dominance, and certainly carried it along with Adrian Gallardo and Kevin Draco for the whole entirety of the season, and just delivered every single show over and over, never stopping in his performance. And then it culminated with his streak being put on the line and managed to defeat Harvey in a very fantastic match, and then announcing his retirement at the end, or around the middle point of WrestleMania's show. So all in all, it was a very well done job by Yujiro Yamashita, and certainly not the best way to close out a full-time career, but he will be remembered as probably the greatest United States champion in Universe Mode. Well done to him. And then coming in at number 10, Ross Young. I don't know where to start, mainly because this guy comes in at around SummerSlam, enters a tournament, is a master man, and then reveals himself at Backlash to a pretty solid pop, wins the Universal title, redeems himself, holds it for 13 episodes all the way to the Royal Rumble, defeats Samuel Armstrong along the way, and then loses it. And then doesn't regain his momentum. In a way. He can still regain his momentum, but certainly he had a rocket booster to his back, and then he quickly fizzled out. Now, that's not to say he can't reclaim it, because I will tell you, the guy has a unique moveset and can easily regain his momentum at a short notice. But the hope is that he will continue to grow and impress. So coming in at number 9, we are officially in the single-digit numbers, is Samoa Joe. The man who won the SmackDown Money in the Bank briefcase, I will tell you, dominated. Had a good solid feud for a short time with Blake Daniels, got injured, came back at Survivor Series, didn't have a good big win, but he certainly started dominating. Cashed in at the Royal Rumble to win the WWE Championship for the first time in his career. And then had a pretty solid match in the Chamber. Lost on SmackDown, lost at WrestleMania, but he ended 4th in that 6-man match and went a good while. But here's to Samoa Joe for being one of the best heels of SmackDown and really, really helping the brand grow and have a heel that stood out among the masses. As now we head to number 8. This is actually going to be the only NXT persons on the list, because I'm going to put the whole faction down. The Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era. What's to say about them? Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish winning the NXT Tag Team titles twice, putting on some very solid bouts as champions. Adam Cole being an NXT champion. Roderick Strong becoming a 3-time Cruiserweight champion, winning the title twice, and then Jeff Sanders becoming North American champion. They certainly had a successful ride in NXT, and we will see what the future holds for the Undisputed Era in Season 6, but all in all, they were phenomenal. Now, of course, you may be wondering, why wasn't Sante Guerrero on here? Despite Sante's picture-perfect storyline with Ricochet and the back to pay-per-views, I decided to hold off just because if he had more time, maybe another pay-per-view with that much momentum, I think I would have put him on the list with ease. But with how tight the list was, I didn't know who to bump off. That's why it's all about opinion. He was definitely one of the nominees on my list. About just like if you had people under the 15, like a short list, he was one of the names that I could really consider to put on the top 15. But I bumped him off and made way for Arlington because I thought Arlington overall, because he was there the whole season, performed better. So if Sante was there a little bit more, but Sante was certainly close. Anyways, moving on. We're going to number 7. It is Blake Daniels. Blake Daniels, what to say? The man, despite falling off his horse, came back strong and delivered on SmackDown. Became United States champion and carried it with pride, putting on some pretty solid matches until he lost it at TLC. Put on a solid match with The Rock at the Royal Rumble, and a pretty good bout with Road Killer at Survivor Series. It's just on and on. The man was all around a great performer that SmackDown needed in the mid-card, despite I know he wants to be a main eventer, the guy who made him. But all in all, he was a phenomenal man in terms of match quality and performance to keep everyone well entertained. And then going into his home city of Chicago, and then being the runner-up in the match, and delivering a 5-star bout for the WWE title. Despite missing it, here's to the future in the hopes that he will reclaim the throne. So now, moving on to number 6. I gotta say, it is Samuel Armstrong. Samuel Armstrong started off Universal Champion, held it all the way to the episode after Money in the Bank, finishing up his 24-episode title reign, was beat by Kevin Owens, reclaimed the title, took it to SummerSlam, and then he slowly faded, beat down Shane McMahon at Clash of Champions, and then kind of fizzled out for a short time, only to re-emerge at TLC and put on a solid match with Ross Young, and then it just picked right back up in dominant fashion. His and Arlington's feud leading into WrestleMania was absolutely something that he needed, and building up his streak to greater heights as he was 4-0 walking into Mania and delivered with a phenomenal bout with James Arlington for the streak. All it did, no matter what, was solidify him as the man in terms of WrestleMania, and that this streak is something of great importance for the series. And if someone beats it, it is going to be monumental. So well done on Armstrong to get into the top 10. So now going to number 5. It is Colt Lee. Colt Lee, what to say about him? The guy killed it this season in terms of being there for Raw the whole series. He was in season the backbone of Raw, becoming Intercontinental Champion, Raw Tag Team Champion, and then won the Universal title for the 3rd time and 4th time in his career, tying AJ Styles for the all-time record tying AJ Styles for 2nd for the most world title reigns at 4. He has put on a spectacular season in terms of matches, and all around a great performance once again from Colt Lee. As we head to number 4, and I think that man is Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa. What to say about him? The man held the WWE title, had the longest world title reign, well, except for Samuel Armstrong this season, with 18 episodes. Held it from Clash of Champions all the way to the Royal Rumble, being a fantastic heel for that SmackDown needed, representing the brand and really turning people against him. Great job all around, and set up the feud that would lead to WrestleMania over the WWE title, being a 6-man. All around great job by Ciampa, stealing the show for SmackDown. Now going to number 3. I gotta say it's Matt King. Matt King started off Intercontinental Champion, held it for 18 episodes. Did lose the title to Davis, his brother, at No Mercy, but then would slowly find his footing as he would participate in the Survivor Series 4-on-4 match, which was ranked 5-star, and then would enter into just when everything seemed bleak, he would enter into the Royal Rumble, and win it. Not only did he win it, but he chose Colt Lee to headline WrestleMania. With the odds stacked against him, his career on the line, he delivered a 5-star bout, living up to the nickname as he moved on to become world champion, only to lose it minutes later. But still, he definitely redeemed himself from WrestleMania Season 1, when it was a 3-minute match, and redeemed the match quality. As far as the Intercontinental title goes, he introduced Velveteen Dream's debut match, or was part of Velveteen Dream's debut match, and had several other good bouts with the IC title. All in all, he helped carry Raw to new heights and put Raw on his back this season, and what a way to return to the top of the list. Now we head to number 2. I gotta say, this is the guy, because number 2 is Kevin Draco. Kevin Draco, without a doubt, was there since day one. Day one. And this was a tough choice, because he was there every single SmackDown, putting on match after match after match, quality match after quality match, from Yujiro Yamashita to every single defense in his title reign, from WWE title reign, from Seth Rollins to AJ Styles. The list just keeps going on and on and on. He just delivered, and became the man of SmackDown Live, the MVP, and solidified his name as a full-time performer, and delivered in spectacular fashion. Now to number 1, it is going to be Class Par. Class Par. What can be said that hasn't been said already? Class Par is number 1 this season, returning at SummerSlam under the mask. It was all about the swerve with Class Par. Misdirection, making everyone think it was him at first, and then misleading him into thinking it wasn't. And then when he unveiled the mask got close to winning the title at TLC, and then revealed himself as the Masked Man at the Royal Rumble in front of the whole world, won the WWE title, got cashed in on, and continued to build momentum. His return to the ring without the mask was a 5-star bout. Every single match he was a part of, it was huge, impactful, and felt relevant. And then reclaimed the title and got his WrestleMania moment by winning the WWE Championship in the semi-main event of WrestleMania Season 5. So he is number 1 this season, in my opinion. If you think differently, let me know down below. Thank you all for tuning in. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel, of course, if you choose. And as always, suit up, Matt Army. I will see you all next time.